Hello and welcome to tonight's LOL Esports Roundup. We're going to cover the LCK Regional Qualifiers from today, preview tomorrow's series, as well as the LEC Season Finals that will take place tomorrow. So, predictions 271, 131. I thought D Plus would win 3-1. They would sweep DRX. DRX had 11 total kills in 3 games. So, Deft went 21, 1 and 14, 32% of damage. Kellen 4, 140. So the bot lane combined went 25, 2, and 54. If you remember yesterday when I did do the sneak peek, Deft's KDA was absolutely disgusting relative to Paddock. So this is not a big shock. Fate 387, 33% of damage in the loss. I did find that once Fate ended up getting the starting job and keeping it, that he would lead DRX in damage quite often, especially after Paddock kind of... So, Paddock's development in bot lane went from very aggressive, dealing a good chunk of the team's damage, to trying to play a little more passively, a little smarter, not dying as much, but also not dealing as much damage. Then Fate ended up being the primary carry, in my opinion, to the latter part of the season, and this series as well. As far as the series itself, Game 1, DRX had 1 kill and nothing else. They pretty much got perfect gamed except for that. Game 2, DRX found a way to be competitive in one team fight, but unfortunately Deft was too strong and was dominant throughout this entire series, but games 1 and 2, especially game 1 on the Xayah, he was exceptional. Game 2, he was impactful. Game 3, I thought was more so Showmaker taking the game over. DRX were competitive through the laning phase and into the mid game, but Showmaker on the Jace would just kind of find good plays and did very well. Canyon, great facilitator. Croco could not keep up with him. Rascal, nowhere really to be found. I thought Connor really was able to handle him, and Rascal was the player that needed to step up for DRX this year, in my opinion, because the way the lineup was, it was Rascal and nobody. Barrel, I guess, but a support cannot be your best player, in my opinion, when you look at a team that has multiple sus players. Like, you know, T1, Carry, in my opinion, is the best player, but they also have good players. Like, DRX have a lot of bad players. More average players, for a lack of a better word. Bad is probably not right, because they ended up finishing 6th, 6 and 12. I mean, there's not really nice things to say about this one, because it was so lopsided. Like, how do you describe beatdown? You know, like, DRX had a couple nice team fights, good for them, that allowed them to get like second life, but D Plus were like, no. Next team fight, they took over and they said, okay, we're done. And I mean, this was the way the LCK ended up being in summer. You know, I think back to all the people that got upset that I didn't have like 6 or 7 LCK teams in my top 25 and that I had so many LPL teams. And then we look at this gap here, and I think that is pretty evident of, you know, I don't think that team is beating. I don't think DRX are beating like EDG or RNG, who were, you know, lower tier. Team Wii, for example, is probably at DRX's level, if not slightly better. Preview for tomorrow: D plus HLE, D plus 11 and 7, HLE 12 and 6. They are 2 and 2 against each other this split. We're going to compare the top side of the rift because bot lane did change. D plus going from Kellen to Bible, and now back to Kellen. So, you know, we're only going to, because the bot lane changed, we're not looking at the bot lane. I won't even cite 80 carries because there is a difference between Kellen and Bible alongside Deft. So Kana 10, 8, 21, 22% of damage. Kingen 11, 10, 17, 24% of damage. Canyon 4, 10, 34, only 9% of damage, and this is significant. Grizzly 5, 10, 30, 16%. So the top side of the rift, top jungle combination, 4D plus account for only 31% of the team's damage, whereas HLE, it was 40% in those 4 games. And that's a big diffy. I mean, it's huge. A lot of the damage for D plus came from bot lane. And like even like the sheer damage numbers were very close, except for jungle. Lopsided. I mean, Grizzly had like 20k more damage over 4 games than Canyon did, if not more than that. Sorry for hitting the mic. In mid lane, Showmaker 28 and 14, 27% of damage. Zeka 12, 8, 22, 29%. So that even goes to show you more so how much damage came from D+'s bot lane versus HLE's in these 4 games, although D+ swap supports. I mean, what, 45, 69? So 31% of damage for HLE's bot lane and 42% for D+. So there's a difference. Your primary areas of carry are different. D+, bot lane. HLE, top jungle duo. Now, when I think about this, and the second series, D+ lost. Canyon is one of the best junglers in the world. 1A, 1B with Kanavi. I say it all the time. Canyon's going to need to do really bad for me to take him off that list because he just shows up. Now, that is the matchup where D+ can run HLE out of the arena tomorrow morning, because that's a diffy in player skill, player experience. I mean, hell, Canyon played Zach in Game 3 today, so he is. That's the diffy there. That I identify as the difference-making matchup. If Canyon just does what he needs to do, that will decide everything tomorrow. LEC, we have BDS SK. They've only played once since MSI. I'm not going to look back before MSI because that was 100 years ago in a different meta. So both teams are 4-5, and BDS won the one game they played. Nuke 4-1-10, 30% of damage in the win. Certus 0-5-1, 22% of damage in the loss. Both teams not doing as well as they did earlier on in the split. SK great during winter, BDS great during spring. Neither team above average in summer. So, they're trying to get a chance at the 3rd or 4th seed going into Worlds. Or, will they get it? Remains to be seen. But, I don't know. This is definitely way more interesting than that to me. Both are best of 5s, but I won't go in as depth because we don't have as many stats to look at, right? These are just, both these teams are very similar, very young, inexperienced teams when it comes to moments like this. So thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, like it, subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, become a YouTube supporter. Hope to see you again tomorrow.